Very, very rapidly, just to close, first of all, I'd like to thank wholeheartedly for our first big tent event. It was very moving. I think I can say it has been a successful experiment, and I think that hosting big tent in Italy is a very important signal. Also, when it comes to the history of our company, I think we can say that this is a signal pointing to the fact that the internet debate has reached a maturity level in Italy. Today, we've had many people who have been with us almost until the end of the event, and I think that the level of contributions has been excellent. Of course, I'd like to thank all colleagues who have worked with great care, Giorgio Albertino, Simona Panzeri, and especially our real Enrico Bellini, because he's done so much for the organization of this event. Without him, the whole thing would have not been possible. So very rapidly, just two final points. I'll try and interpret the spirit of the day. We tackled many topics. I think that the future, as Pierpaolo Pasolini used to say, doesn't have a preset shape. We live in such a phase of change and convergence that we cannot predict which business models will establish themselves. As you know, I've spent 8 years of my career in a very traditional sector. So we help many Italian companies of different size to do their best on the internet to change their value chain. And I think today we are witnessing some models of transition which will not necessarily replace what we had in the past. A lot of people do their search on the internet. If you are good enough to break the veil of cognitive perception, you find information, but then you might want to go to a store, or you start from a store, and within a store you get so much information that you want to further explore a certain topic on the net. Today, Italian consumers are more advanced than we can imagine. First of all, they are very mobile, one of the most mobile in the world. You know, mobility is important for the internet, and the other good news for all decision makers is that of videos. Many interactions of Italian consumers take place through a video platform. This is very good news because Italy has a very strong visual culture. This is to say that today we are witnessing disrupting change, and we have the task of trying and interpret the scope of the opportunity, and this is the spirit with which Google interprets its mandate in Italy. I'd like to go back to a statement which was used a lot. Windsurf very authoritatively said there is a Darwinian model. Internet gives an acceleration. I think that the Darwinian category applies in terms of speed of change and need to adapt. But I don't think if we adopt an Italian viewpoint that is above the business, I don't think that the internet is a Darwinian phenomenon that is a zero-sum game. The internet accounts for 2% of Italian GDP in the UK in 2015, a country which is similar for certain aspects. It will account for 15% of GDP. So, and I believe that the internet is an extraordinary opportunity for our country because of some objective factors. For instance, we are very strong on some business models which are quite desirable today, and the internet will accelerate them. Everyone wants to eat like we eat in Italy. People like Italian fashion. Today, people want to participate in the cultural creation, want to access the creativity and the cultural heritage of Italy. Another element, even after the crisis, your companies, you're very good at producing a lot of things, are very small. Today, through the internet, our best manufacturing companies can become dwarfs on the shoulders of giants, meaning that Italian companies that are on the internet are growing much more than their reference industry. So, Italy has a strong export vocation, and the internet can do a lot from this perspective. What is the spirit with which I'd like to close? Of course, with such a short intervention, I don't want to cover all the topics, but I can say that today we had an open dialogue which can be appreciated. I think that the main message of today is let's start. We have talked very openly. We might have found that there are points of contact. So I close by saying that finally the internet is ready for a new enlightenment. We need to get out of the initial phase of clashes, a sort of a war of religions, and today we need to enter a phase of open and pragmatic debate, which we have tried to start today with this small but important symbolic experiment. Paraphrasing Voltaire, we might have strongly different opinions, but we will fight until death for everyone to be able to continue to express their ideas. This is the spirit of the Big Tent. Thank you very much.